All right, let's get down to business and finish out graphing inequalities or linear inequalities. So, word problem. An interior decorator is going to remodel a kitchen. The wall above the stove and the counter is going to be redone as shown. The owners can spend $420 or less. Write a linear inequality and graph the solutions. So they can spend 420 or less. So that is less than or equal to 420. I know that much. I am going to say that, I'm going to write it up here so we have more room, that X is going to be paper and Y is going to be tile. And then that's where I need this picture down here. So the tiled area is 3 feet by 4 feet. So then when we find the area, that's 12 feet. So that's where they're getting the 12. And the papered area is 3 feet by 8 feet, which is 24 feet squared. So I know that I'm going to have 24 feet covered by whatever the cost of paper is. And then I'm going to have to add 12 feet times the cost of tile. And that has to be less than or equal to 420. Now, because of the way it's set up, I could solve for y and graph that way. But I think it would be easier to find my x-intercept and my y-intercept. And we can do that as long as it doesn't equal 0 over here. Because when it is 0 over there, then they're both 0, and that gets confusing. All right, so remember to find our x-intercept, we're making y 0. So I'm going to do 24x plus 12 times 0, and that's got to be less than or equal to 420. And so now I've got 24x is less than or equal to 420. I'm going to divide both sides by 24, and 420 divided by 24 is 17.5. And so my x-intercept is going to be the point 17.5 comma 0. And then I'm going to go to my y-intercept. And my y-intercept is when x is 0. So I'm going to take 24 times 0 plus 12y is less than or equal to 420. That's going to be 12y is less than or equal to 420. So then y is less than or equal to, and then I'm going to take 420 divided by 12, which is 35. From here, I'm going to graph that. So this would be 0, 35. So I created my graph over here. My y's are counting by 5s. My x's are counting by 2s. And so here we're going to be 0, 35. There's my first point. And then I'm going to go to, this is 16. So halfway would be 17. So a quarter of the way would be 17.5. So about there's where we're drawing our line. And then, unfortunately, I don't have the ability to get a straight edge for this. We then draw a solid, and it's solid because equal to, so it's a solid line, and then we know it's less than, right? So less than would have us shading this way. It wouldn't make sense to go above that line. Now again, if you're not so sure, plug in that 0, 0. We'd have 24 times 0 plus 12 times 0 has to be less than or equal to 420, and we'd end up with 0 is less than or equal to 420, which is true. So that's why this side of our solid line is our answer. Alrighty. So on this one, set up the equation based off of what we know, and then drew our line. I used slope-intercept form. You could solve for y and graph based off of what you know. Either way will work. All right, here we're going to write the inequality represented by the graph. So one thing that I noticed is I lost my, there it is. I lost my pen had disappeared, but now it's back. I know it's a solid line, so I know that I am equal to. So I know that much. I also know that we have shaded less than my line. How do I know it's less than and not greater than? Because we are technically what is below the line, not above the line. So I know that I'm working with a y is less than or equal to, and then I'm going to fill in the blank. From there, it's just writing the equation of the line. So what is m and what is b? So in this case, b is 1, and m, here's another point. We also could have chosen the point down here, either one. But I know I'm going up 2 and right 1, which is 2 over 1, so that's 2. So from here, I know that y is less than 2 times x plus 1. And if you're ever where you're like, I'm not sure which, is it less than, is it greater than, pick a point that is in the shaded. So like 0, 0 is in the shaded region. And so I could, if I didn't know which one, and I was sitting there going, oh, well, I know it's equal to 2x plus 1, then I could plug in 0 and 0 and say, okay, I need this to be true. Which direction would make 0 or compare 0 to 1? And it would be the less than. And so then I would know to plug the less than in for my symbol. So that's one way if you're not so sure on recognizing less than versus greater than based off of where it's shaded. I hope that helps. I hope you have a wonderful day, 8th graders, and I will see you in class. Keep being classy.